Intellivision.
Atari really shook things up when they launched the Atari 2600, kicking off the home video game craze. Video games were becoming a huge hit, with sports games, space shooters, and popular arcade classics making their way into living rooms everywhere. Naturally, Atari's success sparked some competition, and that came in the form of the Intellivision, from Mattel Electronics. While the Intellivision often gets flack for its quirky and somewhat bulky controller, it's actually a solid little console with a nice selection of arcade ports and exclusive titles. Check out my top 15 picks for the best Intellivision games, which definitely gave the Atari 2600 a serious challenge. Down in the comments, don't forget to let me know what are some of your favorite Intellivision games, and let me know how my ranking stands up to yours. I really enjoyed reading the comments from the last one on my top 20 Atari 2600 games. Without further ado, let's get started. You're starting off with a sports game? You're goddamn right I'm starting with a sports game. Baseball is one of the most beloved and well-known sports around the globe. The excitement of a fastball, the satisfying crack of a home run, and the nail-biting anticipation of whether or not the ball will clear the fence. This is what makes baseball so exhilarating. Bringing that excitement and the ins and outs of America's pastime to the Intellivision was a smart move by Mattel. Just like those old commercials suggest, Intellivision's Major League Baseball really captures the feel of the game. You can easily recognize all the players, the diamond is sharp and clear, and the gameplay is quick and smooth. As one of the standout sports games on this console, the fun of playing Major League Baseball never gets old, even today, especially when you're playing against a friend. Number 14, Shark. Okay, so imagine this, the vast ocean, it's big, it's blue, stretching endlessly, teeming with vibrant creatures and plants of all kind. It's like living in a work of art. Now, think about being the tiniest fish, just trying to survive. But there are bigger fish around, and you as the little fish are just the right size for someone's snack. Shark has a straightforward concept. As a small fish, players need to munch on even smaller fish to grow bigger, but be careful. Larger fish, including the menacing shark, are also hunting for their next meal. Shark features simple yet super addictive gameplay. I love playing this game still, and of course there has been the spiritual successor, Feeding Frenzy. Number 13, B-17 Bomber. Released in 1982, this game is quite a gem. In B-17 Bomber, you step into the shoes of a dedicated pilot tasked with taking out various Nazi targets across Europe. You do this by waving a black cross over them and hitting a button to drop bombs. While the concept of B-17 Bomber might seem a bit straightforward, it was actually pretty groundbreaking for its time, and it still holds up visually today, as long as you're in your 40s or older. One of the coolest features of B-17 Bomber is the ability to switch between multiple camera angles with a simple turn of the dial. Plus the eerie warning that blared from the Intellivision's voice box peripheral. It added a nice touch, alerting you when there was dangers and targets nearby that you had to take out. Coming in at number 12, Q*bert, 1983. Take a look, guys. This is probably the best you can get for arcade accuracy on the Intellivision. Yeah, it has its really moments here and there, like needing to hit the reset button every time a game wraps up, but overall it captures the look, the feel, and the gameplay of the original arcade version really well. The audio and visuals are top-notch, and fans of the arcade game will definitely appreciate how Parker managed to bring over almost all of the elements and enemies from the arcade game without making it look like a pixelated mess. This game looks amazing. Next up, Tron Deadly Discs. Now, Tron Deadly Discs does a great job of capturing the intense disc battles from the movie. Just like in that film, players need to hurl their discs at foes while avoiding incoming attacks. To ramp up the tension, huge recognizers can also show up on the scene, making things even trickier. Plus, players have to seal off the doors around the battlefield to stop more enemies from coming in, which really ups the challenge. Overall, Tron Deadly Discs is a fantastic addition to the classic film. While it might not have as much variety as other arcade games that came out the same year, it's still a good excuse to dust off the Intellivision and play a few rounds. Coming in at number 10, Bump and Jump. Now, the game's box says it all. To rule the road, you've got to either bump or jump. So in this cutthroat racing game, you can take out cars by jumping on them or crashing into them. Unlike Mario Kart, where you can see an obstacle coming, Bump and Jump's top-down view keeps players on their toes, always planning their next move. When a bump is coming, exclamation marks pop up, and it's all about timing to jump and land on your opponents. You score points by smashing, crashing, wrecking, crushing other cars, not to mention by winning the race, of course. Next on our list, Dungeons & Dragons Cloudy Mountain, 1982. So, the first Dungeons & Dragons game to hit the Intellivision, Advanced Dungeons & Dragons Cloudy Mountain, drops players into a wild and dangerous forest. The crown of kings is shattered, and only the bravest hero can gather its pieces from the peak of Cloudy Mountain. With just a bow and a handful of arrows, players need to hunt down crucial items to help them on their journey while avoiding battling fierce monsters lurking around. Cloudy Mountain really brought the excitement and magic of a tabletop game to your TV screen. As one of the early adventure games for home consoles, it played a key role in shaping dynamic and engaging experiences for fans of high fantasy. Number 8, Utopia. When it comes to games launched on the Intellivision, Utopia stands out as one of the most influential. Players take charge of their own islands, aiming to rack up the highest score by the end of several rounds. The gameplay includes construction of various buildings, directing fishing boats into the ocean, and even financing secret rebel operations on the other islands. What really sets Utopia apart is that everything is happening in real time, with players acting simultaneously. Utopia is often seen as the original game that kickstarted both real-time strategy and city-building genres, coming before classics like Civilization and SimCity. If it had been a slower, turn-based game, its strategic elements might not have felt as groundbreaking, but the pressure of making quick decisions and adapting strategies on the fly created a gaming experience that was truly unique for its era. Number 7, Demon Attack, 1982. So, the game takes place on the icy planet of Krybor, which looks exactly like the moon, and guess what, you can actually see the Earth in the background. So, as the player, you have to blast away at waves of enemies using a laser cannon, kind of like a twist on Space Invaders. Originally, the game wrapped up at level 84, but later releases had an endless mode. Demon Attack definitely deserves a spot on this list because it's super addictive and really fun. One standout feature on the Intellivision version compared to the Atari one was the massive mothership from the arcade game. This gigantic demon-like base takes up half the screen, and it is seriously an epic challenge to defeat. Coming in for my number 6 spot, Night Stalker, another one from 1982. So the Intellivision really nailed the whole maze adventure genre, and Night Stalker stands out as one of the top picks. Instead of controlling a square dot-like shape like in Pac-Man, players guide a character through different mazes. At the start of each level, the main guy is unarmed and has to make his way to a flashing gun to take on spiders, robots, and a bunch of other monsters or foes. Once you've used up all 6 of your bullets, you'll need to hunt down another gun in one of the 5 spots on the map to keep going. This vulnerability aspect adds a cool twist, and while the gameplay might feel pretty simple now, it's still a fun throwback to enjoy. Coming in at number 5, Donkey Kong Jr., 1983. So, the original Donkey Kong arcade game was pretty awesome, but the home ports weren't anything to brag about. But then Donkey Kong Jr. came along, which totally outshined the original. It's a vibrant and smooth game that really shows off what the Intellivision can do. Sure, Jumpman aka Mario kinda looks like a reject from the Blue Man Group, and Donkey Kong kinda resembles Roadkill, and even Donkey Kong Jr., although the most animated, is still a bit off. But there's just something about the way this game plays. It's one of the few Intellivision carts that I always have out and ready to play. Damn it, this one might be covered in nostalgia. It's still number 5. Next up, Pac-Man, 1983. So, Pac-Man is a legendary arcade game that everyone knows about. It hit the Intellivision in the 80s and sticks to the same classic gameplay as the original arcade version. For those who might be unfamiliar, Pac-Man is this cute little yellow circle with a mouth that munches on dots and dashes, scattered across different mazes. Your goal? Gobble up everything while dodging the 4 colorful ghosts that are out to get you. This is another port of the arcade classic that, compared to the Atari 2600, the Intellivision blows out of the water. Diner, 1987. The Intellivision is famous for its knack for delivering awesome arcade ports, and while Burger Time is definitely one of the most visually appealing and enjoyable games, Diner, its unofficial sequel, gets the bronze medal on this list. With its smooth gameplay and stunning faux 3D graphics, Diner has you assisting a character that resembles the Pillsbury Doughboy in making a sub-sandwich by kicking food balls into a big roll at the bottom of the screen. To spice things up, you also have to dodge the deadly touch of hot dog guys, animated bananas, and beer mugs, while blasting them with your trusty pepper. Did you know that the sequel for Burger Time was supposed to be called Pizza Time, but the prototype was lost? Then, the prototype for Masters of the Universe 2 was taken and changed into Diner. Number 2, from 1982, Lock and Chase. So this is a quasi-copy of Pac-Man, but it is fantastic and it plays way better than that terrible 2600 version. It's worth noting that Lock and Chase isn't necessarily superior to Pac-Man as a whole, but it does offer a fresh take on the gameplay, and it was designed specifically for the Intellivision. In Lock and Chase, you control a vibrant tomato bank robber trying to dodge a squad of brightly colored police officers. The game feels a bit more cramped than Pac-Man, and it has a more intense vibe, but you can also close doors behind you, giving you a better chance of escaping the cops. Really fun. If you've never played this one, definitely give it a chance. It could have easily have been my number 1 choice. And my number 1 game on the Intellivision, Burger Time, 1983. So, Burger Time lets you experience the fun of playing with your food. Chef Peter Pepper has to whip up a bunch of burgers while dodging Mr. Pickle, Mr. Hot Dog, and Mr. Egg. If you're after that classic arcade vibe, Burger Time is a blast from start to finish. The game is this: Chef Pepper walks over different burger toppings to create the meal. As he strolls across a burger bun or a patty, the ingredients drop down, causing other toppings to collide, or if you look out, you take out one of the pesky characters along the way. It's a crazy concept on paper, but it works on the screen. I love this game. I play it whenever I'm lucky enough to see it in an arcade, and it is a must-play whenever the Intellivision is hooked up. And that's my list of the 15 best games on the Intellivision. Thank you for watching the video. Again, if you have a different ranking or have games that you think should have been on this list, please let me know down in the comments. And if this video interests you at all, I'm guessing you're around my age, so don't forget to hit that like button and then go rest your back. Take care, guys. I'll see you in about a week. Bye.